So these cells get updated to be steel in the 1920s, and they were designed for 2 men. If you look on the outside of cell number 8, you can actually see where the second bunk bed used to be. We took the top bunk beds out because we do an overnight tour, and we were afraid that people on the overnight tour would either try to jump up there and take photos or lean on it and it would fall and hurt somebody. So we took the second bunk bed out. But one guy would have been on the top bunk, one guy's going to be on the bottom bunk. The problem was the Great Depression hit. And when the stock market collapsed in 1929, we get overcrowded because desperate people did desperate things. And on top of that, Prohibition was still on until 1933. So a lot of local boys who lost their factory jobs turned to run-rumming and moonshining up to Pittsburgh. And if you got caught, well, you ended up in here. So one was on the top, one is on the bottom, and the little weak guy is sleeping on the floor on a thin roll-up mattress. It looks like a camping bedroll. They unrolled it at night. He slept on it. They rolled it up in the day for space. So we really did keep 3 guys in these cells. Take a couple minutes and check the cells out, guys.
Yeah. Awesome.
Maybe get a pour, for God's sake.
Get in there.
Get in there.
I'll get in there.
Look at the writing. Guns N' Roses.
Ready?
Yeah, I'll take it. How big screen do you have?
Oops, sorry. Recording too.
Yeah, that's okay.
My flash won't turn like stay
Oh
on
no,
until
do you need help?
No, it's just a camera app that came with the phone.
Yeah.
There's like outlets in this one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, all right.
There were a lot of outlets. One of them had outlets in them.
That one does as well. But I imagine the amount of pipes in a space this small.
This side they had 2 nicknames for it. The inmates called this side the Alamo because it's the lifers, the only way out is in the pine box. Our officers called this side Blood Alley because out of the 998 deaths on the property, we had 400 plus happen in here. We had a warden in the 70s named Bordenkircher, and he's actually in a news interview where he says that it didn't matter what time of day you did a cut search in here, you found at least 3 shanks. So, and you can see where they're cutting them. If you look on cell 16, that steel plate, if you look, they've cut a knife blade right out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, and you can actually see the sharpening marks on the floor, too, in cell 16, because they're using the floor as a whetstone.
Yeah.
How many tiers they got in here?
4, it's 4, it's, I don't know if you can see or not, but it's 4 tiers.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Kind of like our guys when they run up to the officer's desk, they pretend to fight and get stopped.
Here, the shank. Here, they cut that. This is awesome. What you say in here? The cells are smaller than this right here.
Carrie, like the old ones in Pittsburgh, right?
So the last cell down here, guys, I'm going to tell you a story about it. This is probably the worst guy we had here in the late 80s, early 90s. His name was William Red Snyder. He was the leader of the Aryan Brotherhood, the AB. And he dies in this cell October the 8th, 1992. The guy 2 cells down, his name is Rusty Lassiter. He was part of the gang in here called the Avengers. They're a motorcycle club on the outside, but in here they're a gang. And he kind of tricks Red. He saves up 2 weeks worth of pills from Pill Line. He acts like he's taking them, but he's cheeking them. He'll go into his cell, spits them out in a napkin, and then he eventually bumps into Red out on the basketball court, which is where we're going next. And he says, "Hey, Red, do you want to get high tonight?" And Red says, "Yeah, man, let's do it." And Red thinks he's taking half the pills, but he's taking all of them. Rusty doesn't take any. And then they all go back to bed, and the cell doors close, and then the next morning they open, and they're supposed to go out to play basketball. And Red doesn't come out, but Rusty does. And Rusty is so afraid of Red down here, he calls his name 4 times. And when he sees that Red is so high, he can't even sit up straight. Rusty rushes down here with a shank and stabs him 37 times in this cell. Red bled out in here. He actually dies under the bunk by his cut box. And a lot of ghost hunters will come here and they'll leave him like cigarettes or playing cards as trinkets. They're trying to talk to him on those EVP sessions that they do, the electronic voice phenomenon. And they say they get good answers. A lot of folks think that Red might be our shadow man. I don't know if you know anything about the building or not, but we have this shadow guy that likes to show up in photographs. He'll be in the background, and it looks just like the human form, but with no discernible features. He's just a black shadow. And a lot of folks think that might be Red. So on your way out to the court, say hello to Red.
I say shit to Red.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I say nothing to Red.
You'll pull up like freaking 50 different holy crosses.
Yeah, well, I say nothing to Red.
I will.
I ain't.
I should have brought him a cinnamon roll.
But he's a friend.
Here's the inside of where we were at.
Oh, yeah.
He walked right over it. Razor wire.
In the 1880s, 1890s, so follow me, we'll go through the gun market.
This is like when we talk about going to Green Mile. Green Grove. It's a fun fence tunnel like this.
Did you get your light working?
I finally got mine working. Sliding that straw with the camera.
That's how Pittsburgh was. You ran up those steps, you're not ready to die.
And we're working it shut off again.
I don't think it counts here. I don't think you care.
Thank you.
You might see something else later.
You say you hold the baddest guys up over there.
Yeah, this is the north.
Why not down here?
Well, I mean, if they say you're heavy-handed in the 1880s, you're not great. So he would lock people down here from 1 to 31 days. He's the one that decided how long you would be down here. And he's also the one that put in the whipping post here. So if you came out of here with an attitude, you went straight to the post. And our post was called a kicking jinny. It was a board that had been warped over with water. They would strip the inmate from the waist up, and they'd bend him over the board because it expands your back. And they hit him with a cat of nine tails, which is a whip that you might remember from the Bible. It's a whip that's been braided into 9 lengths. It's the one that they beat Jesus with. It was often kept in a burlap sack that had been soaked in vinegar. That's one of the places we get the phrase, letting the cat out of the bag. It's from there. So.
Yikes.
We're going to head down and check it out. The hole with the cell would have been to the right. It's the first door to the right. There's a room all the way in the back left, though, which was made famous on national television by Ghost Adventures. There was a guy named R.D., and this is the 1970s. He lived down here. He was a snitch. He was actually the warden's favorite snitch. He would tattletale on anybody for anything. And he wanted out of one of those 5x7 cells, so he squeals on a guy he probably shouldn't have, and the warden agrees to give him his own little apartment down here. And well, those boys that he squealed on skipped the count, the midnight count, and came down here and visited him, and they slit his throat open. And Zach Bagans of Ghost Adventures was down here, and he was trying to talk to him on a spirit box session and got some pretty crazy answers. So we'll go check it out too. But follow me, we'll head down. Watch your head here, guys. It's low clearance. This would have been solitary cell.
Definitely don't have to watch my head.
In there, and then back here is RD. So feel free to look around. RD is back here to the left.
They went this way.
We're going this way, Ben. My flashlight won't work.
It won't. Oops, I'm sorry. This is creepy. It's insane.
This is RD's room over here.
Cool.
I love that door. I would like one of those doors. I would put that in my house.
Yeah, that's definitely creepy in there.
RD's apartment.
Oh, back there.
Yeah. Not for very long, though.
Where's the apartment?
Right here.
When I toured a jail in Ireland, it's so much like this, it's crazy.
Oh, really?
I was in the stocks there, it's very cool.
Sorry, thanks.
This isn't what you would picture. Everything is all exposed. Like it was just rectangular. It's just gonna be apartment, huh?
Yeah, pretty big apartment.
We didn't keep it long.
Take a flash picture back here. I want to see if there's a spook.
You guys are ready? Meet me outside. We'll head to the old infirmary and psych ward.
He's leaving us?
I don't have plates, so.
Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, Amanda, you gotta check this out.
Why?
Wow.
It's like a little.
Look, it's the bottom of the tower.
Oh my god, that's creepy.
Isn't it awesome?
Yeah.
I want one for the house.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't it be cool to have a guard tower in your house?
Oh, hell yeah.
That is neat. Yeah, that's cool.
Want to check it out, babe? We'll wait for you. I want the tower. I don't have a light, sorry.
Oh, sorry, Ben.
Mine keeps setting off. I think it's because my phone's overloaded. Did you look at the ceiling? Now, if you work here and you're just one person hanging out in all this darkness at night,
Yeah, fuck
doesn't
that.
that freak you out?
Yeah. I went down that way.
just do this, Jerry. If you're the guy that works here when we're all not here, you just wander around us with that.
I'm getting all kinds of like things flying around.
The hallway on the second pier, I thought I heard somebody cough, like, and at first I think, oh, we had a ghost tour last night. Somebody spent the night and their friend assigned them out, because that's happened before. So I went running up the stairs, and I went cell by cell through the whole cell block and never found anybody. So they either evaded me like a ninja, or it was a ghost.
Thank you.
You help me pick out my next phone. Ben, there it is.
I'm going to slow walk down the hall. There's a big empty room at the end of it. That's where the beds would have been for the infirmary. I'm going to wait there. You guys check out the side rooms. Meet me in the big room in a couple minutes, and we'll go to the psych ward.
It's a shame they have all that talent and they end up here.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Back to
What's behind there?
Okay.
Check this out. Great for they had the hosiery room and the laundry. It's crazy, like all like
This is
1920s
creepy.
stuff. What the hell was that?
No, are you serious? Look at that fingerprints and shit on there. Yeah.
What? It's nasty. Like somebody pooped up. Ben, where you at? Ben! He said we're the one who's still in the hospital, I swear.
know about this, but somebody farted. You need that poopery over in the next room.
Pretty good pills right there.
I tell you what, though, the glass is pretty cool, which is something I've never been in prison.
No, no wicker, yeah.
I think so there was.
Yeah, that's where you get the pills. That's the firm.
You have to see Weekland in there.
Yeah.
Big old John in there.
Ew. No.
Treatment room. Locked.
Wonder why.
I should close it too, in there.
The treatment room's locked.
I should close it too, in there.
Yeah, you should.
Dirty mattress. Yeah, let's cuddle on that. Blech.
No, not me.
I don't know if it's boards or dust.
All right. Ben,
Look, here's some of the food.
Oh my God, you scared me.
You're in the bathroom. What, you want me to jump past red?
I didn't know what you were.
Hey, there you go, man.
Alright folks, we're going to go on the other side of this red door. This is going to be the psych unit. They redid all of the second floor in the 1970s. You're going to see a lot of weird colors over here. They're using pastels. Pastels are supposed to be calming. They thought that would help keep these guys even-tempered. All that I know that it did for anything was make these guys commit suicide. Because we had more suicides there on this psych unit than we did anything else. So we'll check it out. The pastels are gross and ugly, but that's the way it is.
I'm so sorry.
I'm right here.
What's that?
Yeah. You can't, I think they're locked. Empty. Oh no, I can't open it.
We were supposed to have 1,600 max capacity. We had 800 cells, but by the 30s we were already at 2,700. Yeah, we get overcrowded quick, and we stayed overcrowded until they shut us down. They said it would cost too much money to update this building to code than it would be to just build new. So we ended up just building like a lot of the places.
I seriously had a dream about that bathroom before.
All the way to the bottom of the stairs, we're going to end up in what they call Shadow Man's hallway. That's where that famous Shadow Man photo was taken that brought MTV here. So we'll go all the way to the bottom of the stairs and check it out.
David.
Been here.
Basically, been in the world. They're on their own.
Yeah.
A bunch of them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You keep freaking me out.
Good. Hold the door up and roll it.
Yeah. Where they crossed Shadow Man all the way into the hallway. It was the early 2000s. We had just opened up for tours. A group spent the night here. And a lady was part of a paranormal group, and she had one of those old Polaroid cameras, the ones that you shake. And she gets down here to a tiled section that's about halfway down the hall, and she takes a photo of the end of the hallway where she catches a 6-foot-tall, big, broad-shouldered shadow man. It made the newspaper. It said West Virginia Penitentiary haunted, and that's what brings MTV here, and they filmed the pilot episode of Fear right here in the building. After that, we had everybody from Ghost Hunters, Taps, Paranormal State, Mysteries of the Unknown, Ghost Adventures with Zach Bagans, and it all started with this.
What's that? I didn't do anything.
I saw a light. I'm so getting it from me.
God, where's the light?
Yeah, that went up to the old infirmary where we were earlier. We didn't have a board.
Yeah, that's cool.
My thought is this. As you can see, I mean, one wing they said is old and one is new, right?
Yeah.
But